The grind, yeah, bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. A subtle little intro there, Gager. Welcome in. It's another off day for the Oilers. Of course, they're at practice. We'll get to some new lineups. We'll find out, hopefully, if Klingberg's making his debut tomorrow or Saturday, Gage. But a fun show nonetheless. Hernan's World coming up at 1:40. And start thinking, who do you love to hate watch, team or athlete? That's going to be kind of the theme. I think you can put it together because there's one team in the Super Bowl, Gage, that I think we're all going to be hate watching for sure. That's coming up at 1:40 in Hernan's World. And at 2:20, we'll talk to the new Edmonton Elks defensive backs coach, Aaron Grymes. Our good buddy's going to join us. We're just going to do a quick catch-up, see how the new role's going, and get his thoughts. He's a former Philadelphia Eagle as well, so we'll get his thoughts on the Super Bowl. Like always, hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And like always, slam that thumbs up. It seems like 100's become the norm now, Gage. So we got to start hammering it out. And the quicker we get to 100, the quicker Hernan will shut up about it. Like always, if you want to listen, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart or TuneIn radio apps. And we're live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Gage, I must say, yesterday was such a great day with your dog here, Boone. He's so well behaved. He was tired by the end of the meeting. What I loved about him is when we were all eating, he wasn't a beggar.
Well, he was looking at me eating that stuff, but no, he wasn't going to other people. No,
that's what I mean, because there's dogs that would go everywhere and kind of be sniffing around. He was so polite and just chilling, and like if someone had crusts to give, they were like, okay, I'll come over.
I think Jay was a little bit... well, he shared his kubasa a little bit. He was funny. But Jay showed me a video when he got home.
Yeah.
Because Boone, the way he greets people is he goes through people's legs.
Yeah.
Like he loves to, so he just wipes himself on everybody. Yeah. So if you have a pet at home, your pet's usually right to between your legs going, where have you been? What's going on? So I guess Jay's dog was a little bit jealous. But no, overall... It was a good. I was worried and see how he was, but he after probably about an hour, he kind of relaxed and he obviously he knew that was my office because he went in there a lot and just laid down. Right,
he just laid there.
It was good. So thanks to everyone for putting up with my pooch. I
love all dogs, but a well-behaved dog I love even more, and he was so well behaved, and just everybody that came in here had a smile on their face seeing him, right?
Yeah.
What's the breed again?
It's a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh, what a beauty!
And they're just a little history on them. They're from Bern, Switzerland. They were actually the original rescue dogs. So if they say out of the top 5 dogs to smell, I guess their smell intensity, they're top 5 in all breeds, but because they sniff people out in avalanches. So everyone thinks like St. Bernards were but the Bernese Mountain Dog was the original rescue dog. That's what they were bred for, to find people if they were trapped under snow. So he's he can smell everything. I went to go look, the Bernese, they used to put like booze or like whatever, scotch or something in those little barrels under their chin. Yeah. So I looked at an actual Swiss manufacturer. I was going to get, this was for my old Bernese Mountain Dog, but they were like way too expensive. So I couldn't get it, but maybe one day I'll get Boone a little something and he can put whatever, a little tequila mezcal in there.
He was awesome. Yeah. He was an absolute beauty. And you posted pictures of him, I think, Edmonton Sports Talk, Twitter as well, and on their Instagram feed. He was a good boy.
Speaking of just ways to consume our content, too, with our meeting, one of the things that caught me off guard, and I didn't realize is, for fans of our show here, they can actually, it helps out if they just subscribe on wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. You actually go to our show and just click subscribe, and then if you happen to miss one of our shows, you can always just go back and grab it.
Yeah, so on Spotify, you just have to hit the follow.
Yeah.
On Apple Music or Google Play or the Amazon Music app.
Yeah, the Amazon Music too. That's a new one.
Yeah. Just subscribe to our show there, and then all it does, it'll push our latest shows right to the top of your playlist.
Your playlist.
Yeah, your playlist. So let's do that. A great meeting. Good food. We got some BP's. The Meteor pizza was outstanding.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with BP's pizza. I was a little bit upset because that square footer, the pepperoni and bacon one, that's ridiculous. It was bad because I went for dinner with my son a few weeks ago, and my wife was like, "You can take the rest home." And I go, "Are you sure?" Like, I was mad that he got to take the rest home. But that's a dynamite pizza at Boston Pizza too.
Yeah, great meeting. A lot of fun stuff. It was great. I think Maddie and Coop got the highest marks for participation. That Dusty keeps track of.
Coop would have, I think it ended up tied, but the amount of questions you asked actually was a hindrance.
Coop would have been a +10.
But I liked your questions. I thought they were all good.
Yeah, no, I thought you guys were going to start yelling at me the amount of times I put my hand up. We were there for over an hour, and it was a great meeting, but I just kept yapping.
Yeah,
somehow,
you did.
Me and Maddie got a +3, so we
It was
shared
2
the
hours.
victory.
It was a 2 hour meeting.
Yeah, it's long, but it didn't feel that long.
But it was good because Dusty, you got everybody involved. Everybody had to chime in with how to make things better. What can we work on? Do you know what I mean? What's going well? And then we found out that we need more subscribers on the audio platforms such as Spotify and Apple. So please go subscribe. Like always, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well and hammer that thumbs up. Mex Bezuzu says, breaking news. Gager's dog was the one who sniffed out the Avalanche, made Rantanen available for trade.
Maybe.
And then Sailor says, is Rantanen playing with McDavid or Dries?
I know. Everyone's just... I think I just on the oil stream there's all the people are finding out how to go into GM mode on Puckpedia, and have all become, Scotty Bowman and experts on team construction. I don't think that's good. Now we're just going to get inundated with how we should move, and everyone's going to be cap compliant and stuff. It's kind of good. Send in your pick. I like seeing these because people have traded McDavid and Kucherov's coming and all these other things, so it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful to dream, so I'm not going to tell you not to, but let's just wait and see what happens. I think he's played 2-3 games, 0 points, still finding his groove. Where Neckash Gager, he's got 4 points in the 3 games already. He's been good. Jeremy's got 2 goals.
Dude, it's hard to find that chemistry, especially when you've been in a place like Rantanen doesn't know any different. He's playing
with a speed demon.
Yeah,
and then he goes,
to different players. And how does his skill set mesh? That's always it's not always the name that comes. It's the proper pieces and how they can complement each other's. And when you find that, man, it's so. To me, it's puzzling, especially when you have such a successful duo with Rantanen and McKinnon, that you're willing to take a chance and hope that something else works, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Let's get to some Edmonton Oilers news. Of course, they're practicing today, Gager. Ekholm, Kapanen not on the ice, and it has been confirmed. They're both sick. That's why. So expect for sure Ekholm to be in the lineup tomorrow. Kapanen, who knows here. But this is what they rolled out today. RNH with McDavid and Connor Brown on the first line. And then Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Arvidsson, which has been kind of the line that's been together for most of the season. Your third line is Jeff Skinner, Adam Henrique, Zach Hyman, and then Janmark, Phil Perry. So I don't know if Kapanen draws in or not over it's his turn to sit out. It was Nurse with Bouchard, Kulak with Klingberg, Stetcher with Emberson again. And we don't know. I think Darren Dreger said on the morning show, it sounds like Klingberg will make his debut on Saturday against Toronto.
Revenge game. Like
so again, probably the same deep pairings for tomorrow, but an interesting lineup for sure. Connor Brown, I wasn't crazy about his last game, Gage. I thought he took some. Was it last game? He took a did he took a dumb penalty or was it? Maybe I'm confusing.
Oh no! When he in the middle of the ice there, he let his stick went right between. Like at first I was like, how did he fall? But his stick actually went between the legs.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it was a penalty.
Do you like the mishmash of the lines once again, Gager, coming off 2 straight wins? Well, you've won 3 straight. Sorry.
Well, you don't with guys under the weather too. That throws a wrench in it. So who knows what they're going to be? This just could be. Okay, we got missing bodies. What are we going to do for practice lines? And they just pulled these names out of a hat. I don't know. I'm not going to take too much.
So you don't want to read too much into it?
No.
Okay. Because I think Kapanen might be the odd man out just because Skinner sat out last game. So, and if he does come back in, he will be on the bottom 6. So I think the top 6 is set. And they're going to give Connor Brown another look there with RNH. I was kind of liking that RNH, Janmark, Connor Brown line.
Dude, I think I already mentioned this, but Gene and I were talking about it and just in between during the game. And he said, Nuge looks really good right now. And I thought, he's going back to center, something he's very familiar with. I mean, he was drafted as a centerman. Tough for a young guy to come into the league as a centerman and dominate. There was a huge learning curve, but he's going back with some familiarity. And his role is the way it's defined is different now too. He doesn't. I mean, you want him to produce, but he's not counted upon to win games for you. Too. His defensive play is more valuable, but he also has the flair for the offense too, where he can put up points. So those types of matchups further down the lineup, I think that line can feast. That's why we liked it.
And it's interesting that he's trying this because he's thinking long term too, into the playoffs. If the top 6 not going, where can I fit Nuge? Because you said he's like a Swiss Army knife right now. He can play the wing or center, but he can also solidify your bottom 6, right? If you want to bump up other guys that are not going to hurt you, like a Connor Brown. Pizza Boy says, guys, assuming we signed Rantanen and Marner, who would you play with them on the third line? I can't take it anymore.
That's good.
Hit that one again, Coop. I can't take it anymore. The oil stream got us talking crazy. It's crazy talk right now. It's crazy talk with all this Mikko Rantanen rumors and all that. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, it's free to dream and it's beautiful to dream, Gager. So I'm not going to take that away from you. And it'd be awesome. I'd play him with Draisaitl, just saying. Some other news. Samuel Ersson is going to take Jacob Markstrom's spot at the Four Nations as one of the goaltenders, as Markstrom lands on the good old IR for Team Sweden. Yeah. My favorite, Drew Doughty, set to return to the lineup. Season debut tonight against the Florida Panthers.
Wow.
Excellent. And check this one out. The Seattle Kraken have placed goaltender Philip Grubauer on waivers.
Yeah.
And Brandon Saad cleared too.
Yeah, and Saad, I mean, looking at Grubauer's numbers before the Kraken game, like they're abysmal. Really, I always go back when I hear Philip Grubauer's name. I'm like, why did you leave the Avalanche for a couple $100,000? You would have a ring. You missed out on such a great opportunity for just a few more bucks. I don't know why he made that decision back then. It's so puzzling to me that he left that Avalanche team when they were just a wagon.
I love the what ifs because maybe they've moved on from him because kind of like Georgiev didn't work out there. Maybe he doesn't work out with Colorado either.
Maybe I don't know, but I mean, he came off a really good year, and they were offering him the offer was on the table, and he went for the higher one, and I guess you're all set for life and stuff, but I'd rather be set for. It wasn't that big a difference. It was a couple $100,000 that he said no to. It's funny. I'm just looking at this Puck GM on Puck Media.
Boy, yeah.
The most traded players today. The 5 most traded players. Number 1, Elias Pettersson.
Okay.
Number 2, JT Miller. Number 3, Dylan Cousins. Number 4, Brock Besser. And number 5, my little boy, Bowen Byron.
So 2 Buffalo Sabres, 3 Vancouver Canucks. It makes sense. It makes sense. Just some housekeeping on Friday. We're going to kick off Zach to the Future. It's going to be a fun little segment, Gager. We're going to test Zach Tecum's, what's the proper term here I'm looking for?
Knowledge on past events, I guess.
It's gonna be mostly 80s, 90s, okay, Gage? Because that was kind of our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So we'll have some fun with that. We want you to participate as well, but you can't. This is the thing, Coob. You can't have the YouTube chat on or be looking at the inbox because people are going to try to help you. So you have to have those off your screen because this has got to be completely legit. Also on Friday, we're going to give away 2 more hours to Gimme Virtual Golf. We're going to come up with some trivia or something fun once again. So make sure you're locked in for that. Also, Heavy Hockey Showdown goes March 15th of this year, obviously at the Downtown Community Rink. If you'd like to join Team EST as they go up against Team Heavy Hockey, just go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com and right on the tabs up top, you'll see HH Showdown. You can register there, so make sure you're there. And of course, for the Super Bowl, we got the Fun Spiel coming on the 15th, the Super Bowl party at the Century Casino, Fort Road. $10 menu. It's going to be a good time. We'll all be there for the game, enjoying the Eagles beating the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think that's what we all want to see. So lots going on. The Fun Spiel as well is going to be great, Gage. Are you curling that day?
Yeah, I think I might have something. So I gotta confirm.
Oh, Gage is not going to be around. Interesting. Because you're probably one of the better curlers here.
No.
Right? Well, you've done it more than most. Actually, I shouldn't say that.
No, I think Eric's the one that... Eric and
his
Maddie,
wife. Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They are pretty good. Archangel Gabriel says he would have made that in bonuses from the playoffs. Mark says thoughts on Brandon Saad as a possible fit with the Oil and if the Blues buy him out. Why? Like, I think you have Kapanen, you have Arvidsson, you have Jeff Skinner sitting out. You don't need him. And he's an interesting player, but if there's a reason he's on waivers and no one picked him up, guys, like I think that ship has sailed. The Oilers, I mean, can anyone use him? Sure. Can the Oilers? Sure, for depth, but I don't see them doing that. Jasmine says, guess who's back, Gager? I took a picture of a martini to tag you in, but then I got a chicken wing sauce on it and it didn't look Instagrammable.
Oh my God.
I think she went down to watch the Suns play. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. All right, guys, coming up next, we'll continue the Oilers talk and go around the NHL. Of course, Hernan's World coming at 1:40. That's always presented by the Garrison Curling Club. And in hour 2, Aaron Grymes, Elks defensive backs coach, will join us. It'll be fun to catch up with G. It's a little bit slow on the nasty chat right now. It's a little bit slow on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. It's definitely slow on the thumbs up. So let's pick that up as we keep on rolling here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. We're back after the break, but here's Coob with your sports update.
Drew Doughty makes his season debut for the Kings when LA visits Florida to take on the Panthers. And there's 4 other games in the NHL with the Canucks battling the Predators, the Wild facing the Maple Leafs, the Pens dropping the puck against the Hockey Club, and New Jersey hosting Philly, seeing Samuel Ersson of the Flyers being named as Jacob Markstrom's replacement for Team Sweden at the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And for the Elks, 25-year-old long snapper Luke Burton-Cron has signed a 2-year extension with the Green and Gold after suiting up in all 18 games last year. And in Montreal, Caden Gooley has undergone a surgery to repair a lacerated quad that he suffered in last night's game when he caught an edge that forced him to fall into the boards. Gooley's timeline is unknown. On the court, the Raptors are back in action against the Wizards while the Cavs and Heat tip off. The Clippers throw down with the Spurs, and the Thunder match up against the Warriors, having 11 games in the association. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors, flooring, and decking to fencing and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, they're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, they're the experts you need to know. EST Afternoons returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret, unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
123, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubish in the house. Guys, I'm having issues with my computer. It won't charge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and this is a brand new charger, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't know what's going on.
That's, well, you got to get rid of that thing. Let's face it. You're
See, it's not catching. Like, it'll catch for a bit, and then it just goes off. That's
really?
not good. Might have to raw dog the second hour.
Yeah, that's okay, though. You can use mine.
Anyways, James says, hey, guys, what about Brandon Saad after his contract is terminated?
I like Saad. But I don't. I said this. I think I said this yesterday. I remember Saad as a Blackhawk and just how great he was on those cup-winning teams. Right? I think. How old is Brandon Saad?
32 years old. Left winger.
He's still quite young.
He scored 26 last year.
Yeah. I mean,
let's do a little homework here. So he's a left winger, Gager. He's not playing ahead of Podkolzin.
No,
he's not playing. He's not playing. They're not taking Janmark out.
No,
the way Corey Perry's playing, you're not taking him out. If you go nuclear, you're not taking Leon Draisaitl out or Zach Hyman.
This is when the summertime decision here, and maybe there's something there with. I think you want the St. Louis to retain some salary. If you can get it around $2 million, I don't think that's a. But I haven't watched enough of Saad, and I think he's a good player. I don't know how good he is still. Obviously, he's not doing something right if he's getting waived and sent to the minors.
Yeah, minus 14 in 43 games this year. He has 16 points, only 7 goals. So they're moving on from him. He'll probably is it for termination though? That's what I got to see here.
The NHL has released a press, or the St. Louis Blues press release says St. Louis Blues president of hockey operations and general manager Doug Armstrong announced that the team will place Brandon Saad on unconditional waivers Thursday for the purpose of terminating his contract.
Ooh.
So someone will pick him up because you're going to get him a lot cheaper, right?
Yeah. So that's it's a nice little buyout for.
I mean, that changes things. How big is he? He's 6'1", 215. He's a guy that's going to play in your bottom six if the Oilers are interested. I just don't see it because I feel like with Kapanen and Skinner kind of rotating in and out, you're not going to add another guy to that mix. Because then you have to get rid of one of them.
Yeah, but they have the cap room. If it's...
I want to save that for a defenseman, though, if you need it.
You always need someone that can come and step into the lineup.
Yeah.
And you can't undervalue Stanley Cup winning experience, too, right? You need guys that have won before, I think, to help out. I mean, it's interesting. It is very interesting to me to see that he's, for the purposes of terminating his deal. That's weird to me, though. There's got to be something else. There's got to be something else going on there. I'd like to look at like injury report or something if he's not. I don't know.
So I'm looking at St. Louis right now. He was on the third line with Nathan Walker and Zach Bolduc. I don't know, Oiler fans. I know we want every player that hits the waiver wire. That's kind of our thing. But I don't know if Brandon Saad is what the Oilers are looking for or are going to want to go there. I don't know. I get it will be cheap. I get he has that championship pedigree and he's a veteran guy and he can still chip in, Gage. But I just don't think it's something the Oilers are going to look at. Bowman loves that. He traded Panarin to get him back. That's a good point, Andrew. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, he could be. Now that he's being terminated and all that, it changes the game. But I don't know. We'll see on that. Quote from Mr. Chris Knobloch here. Says he doesn't know if Klingberg's going to draw in this week.
Oh, yeah?
They're taking it day by day. He said, obviously, we don't know if he'll get in Thursday or Saturday. If not, next week is fine.
Is there something, like, what if he can't play? Like, what if, you know...
Boy.
What
like,
if,
terms of, like, because of his injury?
Yeah.
Then the Oilers management should get slapped upside the head. Seriously. Like,
can he be released, like, or just they put him on...
There like an out clause there because you make a good point. He feels great and all, but let's just say one bad hit, one bad turn.
Yeah, and he's no longer Shakira, and the hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie. That's a great point. And I think the Oilers did their due diligence with the medical part of it, and he said it himself when he spoke to the media. He felt great, but like I said, all it takes is one bad hit, one bad turn. You know, your skate getting caught in the ice and you fall awkwardly, anything like that. Is there an out for the Oilers? That's a good question, Gage, and I don't know. But I think you'd like to get him as many games as possible before the Four Nations. I don't know why they're holding back so much.
Yeah, I mean, you have to see what you got, right? You're not going to. I mean, he looked. Did you watch much of him just skating with Connor?
Well, I saw the clips that were posted on the X.
I mean, he looked fine.
He looked fine.
But it's a different ballgame when someone's barreling down on you and you got to make a play and you're getting pushed up against the glass, right? So,
and you don't think the other team's going to be like, boys, this guy hasn't played in a while.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's, of course they are.
He's got bad hips.
I mean, look, the teams are all over Bouchard every time he touches the puck. Like, they're on him right away because they know he's struggling a bit, right? You see Klingberg go back, get the puck, get on him fast because he hasn't played at this level for a long time. For him to get up to speed is going to be tough, especially if it is Toronto going up against his old team. And Toronto's quick; they're a fast team. They're a great regular season team.
Yeah, K-Dub says that out would be LTIR. Yeah, I mean, sure.
I know. I just. Yeah.
Let's hope not, because the Oilers have this game. They have 2 games this week, and is it 3 next week? And then we're off for the Four Nations, Gage. So,
yeah, I think
you want to know I mean, 2-3 games is not going to give you. It's a small sample size. I get that, but so the 2 games this week, and then next week they play 3, 2 on the road, 1 at home. He's probably okay. So if he gets in 3-4 games, that's pretty good. Then he's got his feet wet. You can kind of see where he's going to fit in, what role he's going to play. It's only 4 games, but I think it's good because then he plays 4 games, gets some recovery time in terms of. He can kind of continue to work out and feel better and all that, and then he comes back even stronger.
It's almost like I'd like to see him tomorrow, and get him all these games before the 4 Nations, and then kind of during that time, that's a whole re-evaluation of how he's doing, how he looks, how he feels mostly. Like you want to ask him, how do you feel? Is there pain? Can you keep going? Because from what I understand and what I've kind of read about this surgery, you're not the same player.
No,
right?
Because Kane had the same one. I mean, we don't watch Patrick Kane on a regular, but is he the same player getting around the ice?
But he's older too.
Yeah, he's older. That's the thing. Well, and so is this guy, right?
Yeah. And I think I want to say Mike Comrie had it done, and he when I ran into him years later, he said, it was. Yeah, I felt a lot better, but I couldn't. There were just the strength and everything. It just wasn't there anymore. But everyone's different.
I think the best way to approach John Klingberg, and this might not go well with Oiler fans, is have low expectations. Seriously, because if he comes in and it doesn't go well, then you're like, oh, okay, I didn't really expect much. But if he comes in and knocks your socks off you, then you're like, wow, good on the Oilers. They took a risk. It worked out. Good on them. It doesn't cost them much. I think we really need to accept the fact that we're not getting Dallas Stars John Klingberg.
Yeah. Under promise, over deliver. I think is what they.
I mean, is he going to be an upgrade on a Josh Brown, on a Troy Stetcher? We hope so, but we don't know that yet. We haven't watched them play a game.
No.
And according to Coach K, we won't know. I mean, this is. It's getting kind of annoying, Gage. Just tell us. Do you think the players saying maybe give me 1 more practice, give me 2 more days, or is this strictly Chris Knobloch saying playing with us?
If you had like Wonder Woman, her lasso, when she wrapped it around, they'd have to tell the truth. I think if you wrapped him in Wonder Woman's lasso, he'd say there is a plan for Klingberg, and I think they circled the Toronto game as his return. And that's what it is. He said a week. He probably said a week just in case there was a setback, right? So now, and they just said, look, we're gonna have you practice for these 2 weeks, and then have our sights set on the Saturday night game.
Yeah, revenge game against his former team. I think it'd be fun. I think we all just want to see him play. I want to see how he handles pressure when the puck gets dumped into his corner. I want to see how he moves the puck. I'm also intrigued to see, it's highly unlikely, but if you get some PP time.
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, I was talking to my father-in-law this morning, and he was looking forward to Klingberg. Let's just...
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to kind of be a little bit of a downer on...
No, he was... He's not too enthused about Bouchard at the moment.
Okay. Well, I mean, I keep seeing analytics, and according to analytics, he's one of the greatest defensemen in the league right now.
Oh, yeah,
no, seriously, Gage. I'm not even being. I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything like that. But the analytics crew that's what they're reporting, is that he is a top defenseman in the league.
Do analytics people just don't watch games? I guess. Right?
I guess not. Yeah,
they just break down all these stats and. I mean, hockey's a different sport. You can look at a stat sheet in baseball and basically recreate the whole game because everything's from a static position, right? There's too many variables in hockey to look at stats, I think, and judge a player's performance on that alone. Because I mean, if you were to ask Evan Bouchard, how do you think you're doing this year, and he would tell you.
Yeah, and you can tell in his interviews.
With Wonder Woman's lasso on him.
In his interviews, he says, I need to be better.
Yeah.
He's telling you
what
we're all feeling. And you can see it on the ice in his body language when he's on the ice for a goal or he makes a bad turnover. You can see it. And analytics, yes. What does Cass always say? It shows you what's happened.
Yeah.
Can't really tell you what's going to happen because, like you said, you can't measure how Bouchard's feeling on a certain day. Is he under the weather?
Yeah.
Is his confidence low? You can't, like the hockey sense, like you can't measure that. That changes day in, day out. Like Gager played in the league. He knows, like that's why I think analytics is fine when you use it to analyze certain things and here, but when you're basing everything on it, that's where you lose me.
Yeah. Although the movie and the book, fantastic, Moneyball,
awesome.
Like it was great, and to see that, but I think, like a lot of things, it was just like, we can do this, okay, and there's teams that have massive departments in analytics, and I believe the Florida Panthers have one of the biggest. Actually, they won a cup, but I just think it's a part of it, and I'm not saying to get rid of it entirely. I think there is a place for it that every NHL team needs, but that can't be the only thing you're basing a player upon.
Well, I saw some stuff on X that when the Rantanen trade said, because the Carolina GM and he has that Tyler Dell. Oh, what a masterclass. I'm like, I could have traded for Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about Tyler Dello, like, let's look at his record in the NHL. I think he's been with a team for 5-6 years. They've been to the playoffs once.
Yeah.
I love Moneyball. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite books. What did the Athletics win? They won 22 games straight. That's it.
Yeah. And then got ousted in the first. Or did they win the first playoff series? No, they lost.
That's why that book, Intangibles, pick it up. It is a sports book. It's a great book. And it talks about analytics. And it doesn't discount them, but it just says use them as a tool. Mm-hmm. Stop using them for everything and trying to build a team because it will never work. And I know the Oilers' analytics department's improved and gotten better, but I mean, I don't think Ekholm was an analytics decision.
No, that was just that trade was cultivated from training camp with Pohl and why am I drawing a blank on GM's name? Last GM, Oilers.
Oh boy, Ken Holland.
Holland, jeez, yeah. Wow. Sorry, we just had a fart there. Yeah, he talks about it. He was talking to Pohl the whole time, and things. If you're not in the playoffs, we'd like to talk about it. And it was that relationship was built throughout the whole year, and was arguably one of the best trades the Edmonton Oilers have made outside of picking up, or I would say moves the Edmonton Oilers have done. Aside from Zach Hyman.
Yeah, but no one can sit here and prove that was made analytically.
No.
Because I could have looked at Ekholm and said, hey, that'd be an awesome guy to go get for the Oilers. You know why? Because I watch him with my two eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Caster 1990 says, a former cubicle neighbor who was an analytics and capologist nerd never watched the games. He admitted he never watched the games and was more interested in reading the stats and devising trades.
Yeah.
Sure. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, not only on the EST YouTube channel, but go to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Amazon, and follow, subscribe, as that way it'll just push our content to the top of your feed, and then that way we get more eyes and more listens and all that fun stuff, Gager. Coming up next, it is Hernan's Roll. We want you to participate as well, so hit us up on the Nasty Chat or the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. We're back after the break. Here's the sports update with Zach.
Five games in the NHL sees Drew Doughty slotting back in for the Kings against the Panthers. Vancouver on the road in Nashville. Utah hosting Pittsburgh, and the Wild playing the Maple Leafs. And in Philly, Samuel Ersson has been named to Team Sweden at the Four Nations Face-Off to replace the injured Jacob Markstrom of the Devils, with Philly and New Jersey dropping the puck tonight. Meanwhile, St. Louis is placing Brandon Saad on unconditional waivers for the purpose of contract termination. And for the Kraken, Philip Grubauer hits waivers for the purpose of re-assignment to the AHL. Out in Montreal, Caden Gooley is sidelined indefinitely after he underwent surgery this morning to repair a lacerated quadricep he sustained last night when crashing into the boards. In the CFL, Luke Burton-Cron and the Elks have agreed to a 2-year extension, with Burton-Cron suiting up in all 18 games last season. And down south, Toronto battles Washington. The Nuggets and Knicks throw down, while the Mavericks and Pelicans butt heads, having 11 games in the NBA. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. We have a quick timeout before we return with Hernan's World here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino. On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino.
Excitement.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
.143. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Interesting tune there. I felt like I was in the movie Lost Boys with that tune. Scoob, you're really mixing it up. I'm kind of enjoying it though, because I never know what we're gonna get on the other side. They're coming back from break, but that's an interesting tune.
Some smooth grooves on a nice smooth Wednesday so far.
It's gonna get cold, Gage.
Is it?
Yeah, it's starting. I think Friday.
Really?
Minus 20s, some snow.
You know who loves the cold?
Your dog.
Yeah, my dog loves that stuff, man. You should have seen him this morning because the fresh snow.
The fresh snow.
Oh, he went right in it and just buried his face and started he looked like a submarine trying to submerge into the snow. Then he saw a bunny and wanted to go chase it. And I go, dude, you're not catching that thing.
Penner's Pancakes. Why? Penner's Pancakes. Why? He says, him, Saad, at minimum deal is interesting. No, come on.
No.
Come on, man.
No, I think you could actually look internally for something that Saad could provide. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. How's Drake? I haven't looked at the minor how Drake Caggiula is doing, but I didn't mind his game when he didn't look out of place, is what I'm trying to say. And Saad's not going to be in your top 6, right?
No, he's not going to kill penalties. He's not going to be on your power play. It's just, and listen, I get the intrigue and all that, but no. Drake in 32 games with the Condors has 23 points, +5. Okay. That's not bad.
That's good.
It's not bad, but it is time to get Penner's Pancakes says, I just said it was interesting, not hoping. Okay, you're forgiven, Penner's Pancakes. You're forgiven. We got to dip into that present Penner's Pancakes brought us over the Christmas holidays.
Wow. That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's probably going to take us all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is.
I couldn't believe that when he brought that.
I know. It's crazy. It's great.
Maybe it's just water. Imagine if he just water.
Open it up. Give it a whiff. Hernan's World is brought to you by the Garrison Curling Club. If you and your team are looking for a fun and exciting way to build some chemistry, look no further than the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Club located on CFB Edmonton. The Garrison Curling Club offers 6 sheets of ice, a full-service bar with kitchen, and includes all equipment needed for a corporate bond spiel. At the end, the Garrison Curling Club is run by Nasties. As an added bonus, they will offer 10% off ice rentals to all EST listeners. Email curling@egmgolf.com and mention EST to book your corporate bond spiel today.
Viva la raza!
All right, gentlemen. Kansas City Chiefs headed to the Super Bowl looking for a three-peat. It will be the first team in NFL history. Is there a fatigue with the Kansas City Chiefs? I think there is. I think there's going to be a lot of hate watching too. So in honor of that, of the Chiefs, and a lot of us hate watching them and hoping they lose because we're haters. Let's be honest. That's what it is. Because they don't have players that you actually dislike, but it's just, I think you're just sick of them always winning and maybe getting some favorable calls by the officials on their side. So we're going to go with your top 3 teams or athletes, past or present, that you love to hate watch.
So I'm just going like recently. So the first one I am going to choose that I do not like to see win is Novak Djokovic. I hate that he's going to finish with more Grand Slam titles than Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. He just seems like just a jackass to me. So
is it because he's great or because he's a jackass?
Jackass.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's basically why.
Koob, your first one?
I did not pick a single team for this.
Of course you didn't.
I like the individual sports where you can hate watch more so, because there's a lot of teams where it's like, yeah, okay, like the Leafs are always popular or whatever like that, but their players are great, like William Nylander, Mitchell Marner, and everybody's going to hate me for saying that, but Austin Matthews is just a fantastic player, like up and down the lineup. So it's hard to pick a team, right? Because players on the teams are very nice to watch. So I'm going to go with the individuals where I can really pinpoint them. And the one at the top of my list, everybody loved to talk about this guy. Well, maybe didn't love it, but Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul, everybody's sick of the guy. Everybody talks about him. It's kind of like Taylor Swift in the
I thought
Chiefs,
you loved
but
him
on a bigger level.
No,
I love to hate him. And I if he does get good at boxing and eventually goes into MMA, I'll watch every single one of his fights from now on just because I hate the guy and I want to see him fail.
But
that's terrible.
But is that from day one since you started fighting that you've been like, oh, I can't stand this guy, or did it grow as he kept fighting nobodies pretty much?
Well, even before he started fighting, when he was doing all of his YouTube stuff, being a Disney kid and everything like that, I never liked the guy. I never liked Jake Paul. I think he's cocky, has the ego. That's kind of his image as well. But once he started suiting up and getting into the ring and calling Dana White bald, I mean, he is bald. That's just an apparent fact. But just saying some crazy stuff, saying the UFC is silly and that he could probably wash everybody up, and then fought a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't like it. Now he's supposed to fight his own brother, which is going to be interesting to see because of how bad it's going to be. But
I heard yesterday it wasn't that they're going to like train. Something
it's
like that.
What was that show, The Ultimate Fighter?
When they had two guys that fought and they would train teams.
Yeah, they train the teams. So I think it's more along those lines.
Yeah, but one of them's not even a boxer. He's a wrestler. Well,
he's he boxed Mayweather.
Yeah, I guess.
So
he's got a boxing record.
Yeah, he does.
All right, my first one is I'm going to go with the team. And it's the LeBron James Miami Heat teams. Like when he signed there and he made that whole big thing, you know, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I hated LeBron at that point. It changed after he went back to Cleveland, but when he joined Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and they were the powerhouse. I remember watching the year they lost to the Mavericks. I was probably the happiest guy. And I'm not even a Mavericks fan.
Yeah.
And they probably should have won. They should have lost to the Spurs too, but they blew it. But for me, that team, I just couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand that LeBron went there. They built a super team because that's when it kind of started. I couldn't stand the Miami Heat with LeBron James. Not 1 year did I cheer for them.
I completely agree with you. I think that LeBron ruined the NBA by doing that.
Yeah.
And he, when growing up watching, I was a huge fan. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, all these guys that would come out of college, after 4 years if wherever university, and they'd go to their NBA team, and that's where they stayed. They never moved.
Yeah.
Right? And just the superstars. That was the beauty of the NBA to me. And when LeBron said, "I'm taking my towns to South Beach and starting creating these super teams," I think that's when the NBA lost its luster to me, really. Because I grew up in a different time. But.
And that's why for me, I don't want to stay too long on this, but that's why LeBron will never be better than Jordan because Jordan didn't have super teams.
No.
He didn't.
No.
And
he didn't?
He didn't. No.
He didn't? I'm going to stand on this hill with Dusty, man. You look back at it.
They built that team.
Yeah, they built around him. He didn't go somewhere.
Look at Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen wasn't brought in as a star.
Nope.
But he is one. He's one of the greatest NBA players of all time.
But he went there as a rookie and grew up with Jordan playing. So they became a dynamic duo, but they didn't go out and sign him when he was a star already. Like Tony Kukoc, he was good, but I'm not going to sit here and say he was a superstar. Name me another superstar on the Bulls outside of the top two. A superstar.
No, there isn't one. There was guys that rose to occasions in certain situations, but yeah, no.
That's why Jordan will always be the best.
That's what I think too.
I think Belsey's on our side too. Gager, you're number 2 of who you like to hate watch, team or athlete.
Oh, I love watching the Leafs lose, especially in the playoffs. I love seeing just the torment of their fans, and they're so beat. And every year there's so much hope, and they look at their team, and right now like they're in first place in their division, and they think, oh my gosh, is this the year? Is this the year? And I think I looked, who do they play first again? It's like Tampa, the first round. And although they beat them before, it's still Tampa. And I just love seeing the Leafs fans just in complete torment and dusting off the TaylorMades and getting to the course.
I think everybody outside of Toronto has them as their top of the list. Who's your number 2?
Well, he is the undisputed heavyweight champ in the UFC, and he's been a superstar for a long time, kind of like LeBron James, and probably is the best in his sport like LeBron James. It's John Jones, man. And I just don't like the guy. Well, he's a fantastic fighter, but he always ducks away from opponents. Tom Aspinall is the interim heavyweight champion right now, and he's asking for an absurd amount of money to fight him, which he has all the cards in his hand, right? Like he kind of has the tokens to control Dana White in that sense because he's the face of the UFC, kind of the only fighter that probably people still know the name of that are there. But he's just not a great person. And I don't know, man. I hate to see him win, and I always root for him to lose. And he keeps beating these legacy kind of fighters. Like he beat Stipe Miocic in November, and I know Miocic didn't have a chance. This guy was like a 43-year-old firefighter who is kind of just, he's like, fine, I'll fight for the money. Why not? But yeah, he got stomped, and it's hard to watch him win because you know how good he is, and that there's no way that somebody is going to really overcome it.
Bonnie Duran says, someone dunk on Zach now. Now.
Dennis Rodman.
Kelvin
he wasn't a superstar.
No. Kelvin says, grew up in Manitoba, hate watch the 80s Oilers and Eskimos. Now as an Edmontonian, it's funny to watch my uncle in Manitoba who still hate watching the Oilers. Yeah, the poor Winnipeg Jets just couldn't get over it was either the Flames or the Oilers.
Well, they swept a couple years ago. You'd think that would heal some old wounds. But I guess if they don't win the big one, it doesn't really help.
Yeah, no. My second one, I'm going to go to the world of soccer, the late 90s, kind of mid-90s, late 90s into the early 2000s, Manchester United.
Oh.
And you know why I hated them? Because they'd always score in the 90th minute, and it was the cheapest, worst goal in history of soccer. They were the worst. I couldn't stand them. They always won everything, but they always won in the last 9 minutes by a fluke goal or just an ugly goal. Manchester United, for me, was one of those teams that I would hate watch when they would actually lose a game, Gage. Now, they're not a very good team, so I'm kind of enjoying it. I kind of
Yeah.
giggle at our buddy Iwanek, and I have a few other buddies that are big Man U fans. I just giggle a little bit. But back then, when they were winning it all, holy smokes, I could not stand them. Your final one, Gager.
This one's just purely selfish because I like the way that he reacts when he loses. And although I don't know if I hate watch him, but it's Max Verstappen. And
good one, yeah.
I he's very arrogant when he wins, and I mean they all are. Don't get me wrong, but I like a Max Verstappen that doesn't win, and just to see what he does and how he reacts, and just mad at everybody. And I'm more interested in to see his reactions just because he didn't win, rather than I don't mind if he wins too much. If that makes sense.
You know what's funny? I was gonna have him on my list because I do too.
Yeah.
I hate watching Max Verstappen in F1. Like I do, but he's not in my top three. Your last one, Coop.
My final and third one is going to be Matthew Iwanek at the Tecmo Bowl League, because he says he's the champ. He's the reigning champion. And he sits there and he plays the game and he intimidates other people. So I kind of sit there and hate watch it as well. And I've kind of turned into a little bit of a secondary, let's say YouTube Trev as well, because Hernan, I feel bad for you, man. You're playing that NHL 94 against Trev and you keep getting stomped.
And he like rubs it in, YouTube Trev. He's one of those
does
guys.
he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He rubs it in. I think that's a hilarious one there. Matthew Iwanek, when it comes to Tecmo. He's on a 3-game losing streak to me, so he's not playing his best right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my third one, I'm going to go to the fighting world, too. It's going to be an individual. Connor McGregor.
Oh.
I've always found him overrated. Hey, he's great for the sports. He's great for, he did great for himself. He did great to tee up the fights and promote them. But overrated, and I early on, he was beating everybody, but when he lost to Nate Diaz, and then when he lost to Habib, I couldn't. I was probably jumping up just as much as if the Oilers won the Stanley Cup, because I could not, and I still can't stand Conor McGregor. Is that fair?
Yeah,
that is completely fair. Yeah, and the fall off is insane from him. Like, he used to be at the top of his game, and now he's gone down the slopes, and he's never coming back.
How many fights has he lost, Coop?
Because
he's lost his last three.
You can't be the best ever and have more than 10 losses.
Well,
sorry.
I wouldn't even say like popularity wise, he's top 5 of all time just for popularity, but top 10 MMA fighters, he doesn't even really crack it. He's on a 2-game slide against Poirier because they fought twice in the same year here, early January 21. He hasn't fought since 21. It's been a while. So in his last 5 fights, he's lost 3. So he's kind of on a 2-fight slide. Like he's just
done.
not really there. And he's taken some time away too. And he kind of wanted to maybe come back and fight. And he was supposed to fight Michael Chandler and forced Michael Chandler, who is like the top of his game, man. Absolutely shredded, a fierce competitor. And McGregor injured his foot and was partying all the time and stuff like that. So he hasn't fought. And they were supposed to fight a few months back. And yeah, no, he puts other people's time in front of his, which also isn't cool. So
but why do these guys want to fight him though? Like,
he's
I
done.
don't get it.
I know they would get millions of dollars.
I know, but it's brutal because I see these young guys that are good fighters, so I don't watch them. And then they're calling out McGregor. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, go after belts. You want to fight guys
that are going to put you on the map. Beating up a guy who hasn't fought in years and who's washed up.
Yeah,
like that doesn't do anything for you. Anything.
Well, it gives you, because it's going to be a huge draw.
Yeah, the name recognition, right? Like if he were to have fought Michael Chandler, that would have been one of the biggest UFC fights of all time. And then Chandler had to wait a little bit longer, and then he fought Charles Oliveira. And the ending of that fight, man, like that was a rematch fight. They weren't even supposed to fight, but. Yeah, no, I don't think McGregor's coming in anytime soon. He might even fight Logan Paul or something.
Jasmine says McGregor brought the suit game. Nice suits.
It's sad that the UFC is at a place where they look to fight old, washed up guys to make a name for themselves. It's
terrible.
I mean, I guess boxing was the same way a little bit, but I just want to say, Shanzi and Pat were in about Dennis Rodman, but in the immortal words of Charles Barkley, when they were talking about Dennis Rodman, he goes, you got to score too. Like, Dennis couldn't couldn't score. Sure, he rebounded like crazy, but so did Charles Barkley.
And he came in the later years too. They won without him. Statue Boss Production says Rafa Nadal is tops of my list. Hated that guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's interesting.
I didn't like him too because I liked Federer. I thought he was great.
I hated his setup between points. Oh my God. Just get ready.
His OCD with even the water bottles when he sat down and all had to be put down, took a sip, put it a certain way, labels out.
And that's what someone with OCD, that drove me crazy. Mike, the Michigan fan, says, I hate everything to do with anyone who's played and is associated with the Ohio State Suckeyes. Of course, the Buckeyes. A good one there. My nephew chimes in too. He says Messi. He watches Messi.
Really?
He's a Ronaldo guy, Real Madrid guy. So that's a good one.
That's another one. I don't like Argentina at all.
Oh, look at that. I like that. As a Chilean, we don't either.
Oh, my gosh. It's like watching Greg Louganis. Thought I'm at a diving competition.
All right, we got to get out here. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brew House for a chance to win $2,500. With tons of options to choose from, the Canadian Brew House can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. That was Hernan's World, brought to you by the Garrison Curling Club. If you like to hit them up, just email them at egmgolf.com and mention EST, and you can book your corporate bond spiel today. Hour 2, we'll continue the sports talk. Got some NHL, some Oilers, some Chicago Bulls, and Aaron Grymes, the Edmonton Elks defensive backs coach, will join us at 2:20 as well. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. We're back after the break.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino. On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement.
Drew Doughty makes his season debut for the Kings when LA visits Florida to take on the Panthers. And 4 other games dot the NHL slate with the Canucks battling the Predators, the Wild facing the Maple Leafs, the Pens dropping the puck against the Hockey Club in New Jersey, hosting Philly, seeing Samuel Ersson of the Flyers being named as Jacob Markstrom's replacement on Team Sweden at the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And in Montreal, Caden Gooley has undergone surgery to repair a lacerated quad that he suffered last night when he caught an edge that forced him to fall onto the boards, and Gooley's timeline is unknown. And staying in hockey, Brandon Saad of the Blues is headed to unconditional waivers for the purpose of contract termination, while Seattle's Philip Grubauer hits the waiver wire for purpose of re-assignment to the AHL. For the Elks, 25-year-old long snapper Luke Burton-Cron has signed a 2-year extension with the Green and Gold after he suited up in all 18 games last season. On the court, the Raptors are back in action against the Wizards, having 11 games in the association. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now.
2:05. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's Wednesday afternoon. Oilers practice. We'll get to some lines. Ekholm, Kapanen did not practice. They are under the weather, so expect them probably both to play tomorrow, but the lines at practice we'll get to here right away. It's hour 2 here on EST Afternoons. Aaron Grymes at 2:20 from the Edmonton Elks. Be good to catch up with him. We'll get his thoughts on the Super Bowl as well as we're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west side of the city. It's going to get colder, Gager. We got a pretty good dump of snow last night. It was pretty crazy.
We did.
But the weather's still pretty nice for a few more days. And
it was +1 when I drove in here.
Yeah. So. Once we get into February, it's like I feel like, okay, like once we're over like the Valentine's Day and stuff, it's like I'm already looking forward to spring. I know it's just around the corner.
I don't.
No.
February's the worst, man. It's terrible. So? Oh, yeah.
I feel like January's going by fast, though.
It always does. You never get to enjoy January. I wonder what it'd be like being in a warm climate in January.
Great. I was in Chile, man.
Yeah, I bet it's awesome.
So in Chile, summer vacation is mid-December until the end of February.
Yeah, because I got, I've known people that, I know some people that moved to Australia, right? So even the kids, so they're, during the summer, it's like their winter and they're on summer vacation and stuff. And just completely reversed, but
it's great. I spent the Christmas in hot weather. I loved it.
Yeah, that's that'd be weird to me. You know, I'm
but you're not opposed to it.
Well, I don't know. Growing up, Christmas has always involved snow for me, right? So I just think that it would be I think I'd miss it.
I would.
I know, well. You're a crazy person.
Would you do Christmas, New Year's in a hot destination? Let us know at the River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Keep hammering the thumbs up. We're at 55 right now. We're 45 away from 100. Let's do it. And Coob, would you be cool with the tropical Christmas?
I mean, I've never really been in a very tropical place in my life, but I got a second with Gager where it's just like when I think of Christmas, I think of snow. If I'm ever watching like a Hallmark movie or something during Christmas, there's always snow. That's kind of the staple of the holiday for me. I love going to the outdoor rink like every Christmas, man. That's the one thing I get pumped up for. Also, Santa bringing me gifts and stuff like that, spending time with family. But when it comes to the outdoor rink and some snowmen, it's got to be there.
I don't know. I was by a pool drinking Coronas plus 33. I mean, I enjoyed myself. So I didn't need snow, especially when you're born and raised here. Like I've seen it my whole life. Like it's okay to change it up. Like I don't need snow.
But what if what if you actually relocated to Chile and you were there the whole time?
I would admit, why? Because I'm inside anyway. It's not like I'm enjoying it outside. You know what I mean? Like, sure, the scenery of it, like, okay, there's snow on the trees and it's beautiful, all that. But no,
you're just dead inside.
It's not being dead inside. I just rather be hot. Jack says, give me Hawaii at Christmas. Yeah, that's what I mean. And Bronco Nick says, I've done Christmas and New Year's in Vegas at the family compound at Rhodes Ranch. It's nice, but not the same.
It's cold, but it can be cold there too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In Vegas, in the desert, yeah. But
I just want to get back to Chicago Bulls talk, okay? So Scottie Pippen, all right? So he was traded by the Seattle Supersonics. He was the 5th overall in exchange for the 8th pick. He was the 5th overall pick. So that's not the same as building a super team.
No.
It is not. It is completely different. Yes, they had John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong, Luke Longley, Wellington, Tony Kukoc. Yes, Dennis Rodman, a star player more because of who he was and how he carried himself. Great rebounder. Great player, don't get me wrong. But those are not, for me, you had the best player in the world in Michael Jordan, so you're a super team, sure. But they didn't go out and had to get the other top superstar in the league to win.
No.
That's my point.
And I don't know. The inmates run the asylum in the NBA. Like LeBron goes and asks guys to come play with him. You know, and I get it, but to have that much control, it's odd to me to see players with that much control over the league and where they go. Look at the whole Butler thing right now. You know, he's
making $50 million and he won't show up. But that's my point. Where LeBron, and listen, he's great. We all bog Dusty, and we do it more for fun and all that. He's great. But look at all the championships he's won. He's always had two other superstars on his team.
Well,
it's true though.
Yeah, I realized. Well, I look at Golden State. Like Curry's a superstar.
Okay, but
he's been in one spot his whole career. He's brought championships to that team. Like I just it puzzled me so much that LeBron left Cleveland, being from Akron.
Yeah,
you know. And I cheered for him to win that championship in Cleveland. Like that was great.
Me too. Yeah,
because he came back and did it. That was awesome. But I just thought he'll always be tarnished his thing because he left to go take his talents to South Beach.
He's always had super teams. And I'll say this. You brought up the Warriors. They're top three. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all drafted by the team.
Yeah.
So they came up together.
Yeah.
That's
I
different.
think there's something to that.
Like, look at Kevin Durant. He's jumping from super team to super team trying to win it, and he never wins it.
Yeah. When guys chase it like that, you know? Like, if Connor McDavid says, I'm not signing, and I'm taking my talents to Los Angeles and wins, do you look at him differently? And Los Angeles signs Rantanen and...
Yeah. Like, if you're going... But it was the way it was done, because Bosch and Wade were waiting there, and it was just the way it was done. Because look, when the Nuggets won the championship, I mean, I don't think Jamal Murray's a superstar. He might be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is the superstar.
Yeah, he's the star.
But then they had really good players. That's it, right? They won it with two guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, that's why, like, when and LeBron's played how many more years? Like, the guy's getting close to 25 years in the league. Like, obviously he's going to break a lot of records. So again, he's great. Top 3, top 5, but I don't think he's better than Michael Jordan.
Well, it's like you said. What number does he wear?
Exactly.
What are the shoes called?
Yeah.
They're not called LeBrons.
And I love the TNT panel, and I love Charles Barkley because he's honest. He was one of the greats too in his era. He never went to a super team, and he says it. I love LeBron James. He's the best player of this era, but he's not better than Michael Jordan.
All those guys say it, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They all say it. The guys...
I think even Shaq says Kobe was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have Kobe on his team before.
Max Bezuz says they had different salary cap rules back then that allowed the Bulls to offer Jordan a blank check. Jordan could have asked for a trade to New York if the Knicks can offer them $30 million. I'm pretty sure he could have went anywhere.
Yeah, he did. But he stayed in Chicago because that's...
Scotty Notes says Kevin Love is only a star, though, so not 3 in that game. Well, no, because when he left the Timberwolves, he was their best player. He was considered he was a superstar. Maybe not. Because for me, a superstar is Connor McDavid. It's Lionel Messi. It's LeBron James. A star is...
Who's a current star in the NHL, would you say?
Mikko Rantanen. I don't think he's a superstar.
He's... I think if you watched him regularly, you'd say he's...
I guess Kevin Love, when he left the Timberwolves, was a superstar because it was a big deal. He was their best player by far. That's what I'm saying. He had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, which is pretty good, Gage.
Matthew Tkachuk's a star.
Star. Perfect. I was thinking in the Oilers, 2 superstars. Do they have a star? Or just really good players? That's a good question.
No, I think Hyman's a star. You know?
Scored 50.
Do you
have to do it more than once, though, to be considered a star?
No. When you do it once, you're good. That's crazy. 50 goals is nuts, man. Nuge is a star, man. Like,
I don't think Nuge is a star. I wouldn't put him there. Is Nuge a star on the Edmonton Oilers?
He's on the cusp of being a star.
Who?
Nuge.
That's a good question.
But he's like a mid-tier player overall in the NHL.
I think he's a really good NHLer. I wouldn't call him a star player, though. I even have trouble calling Hyman a star player.
He'd be a near elite
And that's
player.
no disrespect.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But like, because you're looking at that lower tier big dog on teams. Like Matt Duchene. Is he a star? Or is he just a really good player?
I think I think a really good player.
Natchez. Is he a star?
No.
He's a blooming star. Like, he's soon to be.
Penner's Pancake says Jack Eichel is a star. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Jack Eichel is a superstar in the league.
Did you see that hit?
I don't think he's a superstar.
Did you see that hit?
Mark Stone?
Yeah.
He said he didn't mean to, but he dove at the guy's leg.
No, but he got tripped before.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I heard Ray Ferraro. You should have heard him. What is he doing? It was like, it sounded like some guy watching it on TV and they had a mic on him. Like, but from the other angle, it showed it, and he kind of got crossed up with a guy, and that's huge if that's bad.
Yeah, that's
for Dallas.
That's a tough.
Whoa.
So, okay, guys, how many superstars in the league then? Connor, Leon, McKinnon,
Austin Matthews, William
Kucherov.
Nylander.
No,
Makar.
Nylander's not a superstar. Makar, Vasilevsky.
So
there's not a lot of superstars.
No.
Hellebuck, Shesterkin.
Oh, Hellebuck, yeah.
Hellebuck, not Shesterkin.
You don't think so?
You watched that guy play recently? Looks like me out there.
Goalies fall off.
Not that far.
Logan Thompson would be
Look, I
playing.
watched that game against the Avalanche because I was interested, and he got just torched. I mean, the Rangers are completely leaky, but that's if you're going to pay a guy $11 million, he's got to stop some of those because they're stoppable pucks. They're great scoring chances, but he's just that thing. He's at a level right now that is probably his lowest. His ceiling's a lot higher. Somewhat like Bouchard, I think, with Shesterkin. There's a happy medium there where they're just not at their game right now.
I think it's a good question by Bronco Nick. Depends what your definition of a star is. That's because I think the superstar, we all know who they are. I think that the difference is between a star and a really good player. Like what parameters do you need?
Barkov is teeters on like if you've always heard for years and years now, if he's playing anywhere else than Miami, he's a superstar. But he's looked at as just a star. He's the best player on that.
Pasternak's a star?
He's a superstar.
You think he's a superstar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is dangerous all the time on the ice. He's a difference maker, right?
Jack says Makar is definitely a star, not a superstar.
Makar's a superstar.
He is, though. He's
Quinn
a
Hughes
superstar.
is a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
If Quinn Hughes is a superstar, Makar is a superstar, okay?
Yeah, I got a good one. Elias Pettersson.
He is
really good.
Tradable.
He is a high elite player.
He is really good. But that's a good question. Who would you consider a star on the Oilers? They got two superstars.
What's Crosby right now?
I think he's a superstar. I think no matter what, he's a superstar.
Okay.
Same with Ovechkin.
Malkin?
Star.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Because he's always lower level than like a Crosby, right? Like
it's tough because these guys are older too. But like Stamkos, he was a player, then he was superstar. Now what is he?
A guy.
He's probably just a star.
He's just a
left
dude.
winger.
He's probably just
Right
a
winger.
star now. Your NHL definition of star would make Kevin Lowe a star in the NBA for sure. No, but like, what's a star? Like, I think Jack Eichel. I think that's a great one. I think Mitch Marner.
That's a good. Yeah, he's a.
Kyle Connor's a star. I think.
Connor's a star. Yeah, for sure. That guy can score, dude.
Like guys like Scheifele, Velarde, I think those guys are really, really good. I don't consider them stars.
Yeah, they're like elite. Like they're not all star or star. They're just under that threshold, kind of mid elite. Complementary pieces where like they really click.
Yeah.
When you put them together, but if they were on their own line, they can't drive their own line. I think that's what defines a superstar, that they could do it themselves, really, if they wanted to. I guess that's generational as well. Like Connor McDavid is the best of the best. Leon Draisaitl could still do that too. But you don't see Elias Pettersson kind of driving his own line. You know what I mean? And he's kind of in a slump right now, has been for a while.
So we got our
certain players, right?
Yeah, we got our Winnipeggers in here. We welcome him in, the Hustlerites, the WSTers. Is Helly a superstar or a
he's
star?
Superstar. When a goalie makes, I mean, the Jets are already a good team, but I mean, he makes a good team a great team.
He can win you a series.
Yeah, he can pull a team into the playoffs. Brett Kulak, superstar.
There's only 2 goalies you classify as superstars, Vasilevsky and Helly.
Right now?
Yeah.
Logan Thompson, the way he's playing, you can't say no, really. But
you need more.
recency bias.
You need a bigger sample size.
He's a star. He's a star this year. He should be playing for Team Canada.
What are you thinking about? Jason Robertson was supposed to be that guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he's kind of teetered off. He's still playing great, but like he's not playing up to kind of his expectations, right? And Wyatt Johnson was kind of notched in as that secondary guy right below him.
They're a team full of stars.
So we agreed.
Dallas stars.
We agreed Kyle Connor's a star. Helly Buck's a superstar. Raider Jesse says Bouchard is a star. 82 and 81 and 32 and 25 playoff games. He was a superstar last year.
Who, Bouchard?
Yeah, you can't say
playoff
that.
Bouchard's a star.
Yeah. Oh, Kirill the Thrill.
He's a superstar.
I see. I'd still have him as a star.
No, he's by far the best player on that team, and he's dangerous all the time. He's a nasty.
I like this one from Krager. A star in the NHL makes everyone around them a better player. A superstar can take over a game on their own.
So Jesse Puljujarvi making Connor McDavid a better player.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I can get behind that.
Interesting. Keep the messages coming to the River Cree inbox. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Tap 25 restaurant, where Joaquin, the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. All right, we got to get out. We're a little bit late talking about what's the difference between superstar and star and just a really, really good player. We'll continue the conversation, but first we got to get to a break, and then we'll be joined by Edmonton Elks defensive backs coach and friend of the show, our first guest ever on EST Afternoons. Aaron Grymes joins us next here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Here's Coop with your sports update.
Drew Doughty makes his season debut for the Kings when LA visits Florida to take on the Panthers. And 4 other games dot the NHL slate, with the Canucks battling the Predators, the Wild facing the Maple Leafs, the Pens dropping the puck against the Hockey Club in New Jersey, hosting Philly, seeing Samuel Ersson of the Flyers being named as Jacob Markstrom's replacement on Team Sweden at the upcoming Four Nations face-off. And in Montreal, Caden Gooley has undergone successful surgery to repair a lacerated quad that he suffered in last night's game when he caught an edge that forced him to fall into the boards. Gooley's timeline is unknown. And staying in hockey, Brandon Saad and the Blues have mutually agreed to contract termination while Seattle has placed Philip Grubauer on waivers for the purpose of reassignment to the AHL. And for the Elks, 25-year-old long snapper Luke Burton-Cron has signed a 2-year extension with the Green and Gold after he suited up in all 18 games last season. On the court, the Raptors are back in action against the Wizards, having 11 games in the association. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Whether you're looking for a casual round or a serious game, Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style, with premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. And don't forget, Gimme Virtual Golf is giving away 2 free hours of golf every other week. And this week, we'll be giving it away here on the show on Friday. Find out more at GimmeVirtualGolf.ca. We have a quick break before Aaron Grymes joins us. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.226, welcome back to EST Afternoons. Is Nuge a star or just a really good hockey player? That's a good debate, Gager. That's an excellent debate. And I just wanted to get one before we're joined by Elks defensive backs coach Aaron Grymes. It was from Big Uke, but I got to scroll back a little bit. He says, Hintz definitely hit Stone in the foot. Not sure enough to trip him like that, but still something there.
But when you're going to hit like he was going to make a play, and even though he hit his leg with the body and it looked nasty, he was still trying to make a play on the puck. Like, I don't think there was any malice in that.
That's
and
fair.
There was contact before that made Stone lose his balance. Like, Stone's not a dirty player like that. He's not. He's dirty about being injured and going on LTIR.
He's greasy.
Whatever.
71 thumbs up. We're 29 away from 100. Keep slamming that thumbs up as we're going to switch gears, talk some football with our guy, Edmonton Elks defensive back coach Aaron Grymes. AG, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? You got the new office there. You got the new title, DBs coach. How exciting is it for you to be, on this coaching staff with guys like Demetrius Maxey, your boy JC Sherritt, former Double E great Jason Tucker, and Mark Killam kind of leading you guys all there. What's it been like as you embark on this new role as defensive backs coach, buddy?
Man, it's been busy. That's for sure. Already, I know offseason. Allegedly, I was told offseason is a little bit down for some of the coaches, but not when you're just getting into the swing of things. So I've been in every day trying to get my feet wet and trying to find my foundation. That way, when the guys come in, there's no hiccups. So, but it's also nice because you just mentioned D-Max on the staff, JC's on the staff, right? So people that I've been around, people who I understand, the way they see the game and the way they talk about it. So it's honestly, I couldn't ask for a better situation to be a part of right now.
AG, I'm sorry. I saw you and your daughter at Christmas time at West Edmonton Mall, but I'm not Saquon Barkley, and I couldn't get to you, man. And you were pulling away, and I saw the hair going further and further down, and then I just gave up. But I'd like to ask a question. So free agency coming up in the CFL. I want you to put your player's cap back on. What's it like for players around this time? Are you in contact with your agent? Are you talking to teams still? Are you looking for the best possible fit for you as a player if you were back in free agency right now?
Yeah, when it was first and foremost, you're faster than Saquon Barkley. Let's touch on that. Yeah, when I was a player at this time, it was constant conversation with my agent to see, one, is the team that I'm with already interested in having me back? And if they are, then what's the number they want me back at? Because you're not allowed to talk to the other teams until Sunday when that tampering window opens up. So, and then you start for me, and I tell guys, now I still try to help younger guys out. You get your pen and your paper out and you start taking notes. What number do you want? What number would make you comfortable? If you were to leave where you are right now, what would it take to get you there? Because there's some moving expenses and, different taxes in different provinces. So just being able to make sure that you're not only making the decision based on the overall number, but you're making the decision that's best for you long term and the one that makes the most sense. So it's a busy time. It's an unsure time too, because you're not sure, where the heck you're going to end up. You always hope that it's where you are typically. In my career, that's how it was. But it's definitely there's a lot of talks going on.
So who are you looking? No, I'm just kidding. I know you can't. I know you can't reveal that information. AG, I was with you in your last couple of years, and you suffered some setbacks with the knee injury and all, and you said you wanted to go out on your own terms as a player, and you did that last year with Winnipeg. But when you were playing in the later parts of your career, were you always looking to become a coach? Was that part of the plan?
Absolutely. And I would say that was closer towards the end of my career. Early on, I thought I wanted to be a scout and a GM. And a lot of that is because of the relationship that I built with Ed Hervey early in my career. I knew I wanted to stay in sports, when I got done playing, but I really realized, this was the route I wanted to take as my career kept going. And as I was, being able to sit down and kind of learn from people like Ed and people like JC. The hard part for me with scouting versus coaching is, I'm sure you guys can tell, I'm a people person. Like, I enjoy talking to people and talking the game and football and teaching it and trying to give back whatever I've learned over the years. So that's where coaching kind of took that driver's seat over scouting for myself.
AG, so now in the coaching role, your first kick at it here, what is that relationship from, DB coach with the head coach and the defensive coordinator? What kind of input do you provide, and what are those discussions like at this time of the season regarding personnel, and what kind of strategies you can see for the Edmonton Elks implementing this year?
Absolutely. I'm actually having a lot more conversation about strategy and coverage wise than I am personnel wise. That's I like to say that one there is out of my pay grade. It's out of my tax bracket right now. Unless they have a question about a DB, right, that I've been around, then I get to provide some input there. But for the most part right now, Coach Killam and JC, like you said, and this being my first time, they obviously have full confidence in me doing it or I wouldn't have the job. But they also want to make sure, when the guys come in town and we're starting to put the playbook together and we're starting to have those meetings that, I have all the questions answered, so you only get one chance at a first impression. And I want to make sure these guys know that, I wasn't just a player, I was a smart player and I understood the game, and I'll be able to answer their questions too whenever they have them. Otherwise they start going, to other people for those questions. And I got to make sure I earn that trust within the guys as a coach now.
Elks DB's coach Aaron Grymes joining us here on EST Afternoons. Well, our first show ever, Aaron was a part of it. He joined us, so that's great. It's always a good memory. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Your Philadelphia Eagles, my friend. They look damn good. Saquon Barkley's out of this world. That first run last week was just unreal. But they're facing the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that it seems they can be beat. Seems like they get the officials on their side from time to time. And, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just as great as they get, right? Like, the guy makes plays nonstop. But how do you see this game playing out? I know we're still a few weeks away from it, but do you like your Eagles' chances there, AG?
I do. I like the Eagles' chances, and I like the Eagles' chances because I'm very biased. Seriously. I like the Eagles' chances. We talked about Saquon Barkley a second ago, but when you have a run game like that, your offense stays on the field a lot more, and the clock is chewing away. And I believe they're going to do the best they can to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline because he is a magician back there at quarterback. And even though he doesn't look like it, he still can be mobile enough to run for first downs when he needs to. He's dangerous, and if you allow it to be a tight game, Kansas City probably comes out on top. Yeah. They've proven that. I think they're 12-0 this year in games that are one-score games or something like that. So I see the Eagles really obviously establishing their 2,000-yard rusher that they paid a lot of money to have for games like this. And as soon as they stack the box, you still got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, It's unreal. Not to mention their defense is phenomenal, and that their D line gets after it. I love watching their D line play because I was a DB, and the better the D line plays, the less I have to cover, and the better I look.
Yes. Good stuff, AG. Hey, do me a favor. I need you to give a couple hugs to Dan. You know Dan the man, and a big one to my guy D-Max, man. I'm so happy he's back with the green and gold. He's an absolute beauty. Got to work with him the first 2 years there in Edmonton with the Elks, and say hi to the boys for me. And AG, we wish you all the best, not only to you but the entire coaching staff. We're really excited for this upcoming year, and we know you guys are going to turn it around, my friend.
I love it. I appreciate you guys, and don't be afraid to come check us out too. You know, I got a nice little diffuser going in my office. The vibes are good in here, so come on down.
I'll come say hi one of these days in the offseason, AG. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll chat soon.
All right, take care. Thank you, guys.
That's Aaron Grymes, Edmonton Elks defensive backs coach, and overall just great guy. It's crazy because he always said that when he came up here, he didn't really know about the game. He wasn't really too fond of it, and he's made Edmonton his home.
I know, he lives here now.
Like, it's crazy. Like, from player to community guy. Now he's part of the coaching staff, and you know, like Edmonton Oilers guys, you see him out on the street, everybody knows him. With the Elks guys, I think there's with Mike Riley.
You know a football player when you see him, though.
Yeah, but you know AG.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's what I mean. I saw him. How did I see him? I saw that hair. And then I saw he was holding hands with his one of his daughters, and I was like, oh. And I seriously, I tried to get to him, but it was a sea of people. And then I just said, forget it. This is useless. But yeah, I'm glad that he's part of our show, because just give that unique perspective. I think like of a former player, a former champion that now transitions to the boardroom, and I'm always fascinated of guys becoming coaches. And now it's out of their control a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, as a player, you always have a little bit of control because you're out there doing something. As a coach, you can't. So that anxiety, that's probably why I never got into coaching, because I hate not being in control of those types of situations, at least how I could influence a game. Obviously, he can do that with, structure and how they want to play, but still just being able to actually tangibly grab something and change it is a lot different as a coach.
Yeah, Matt Hyman says, man, I hope he doesn't get to work with Tyrell Ford ever. Listen, I have no information, but my spidey senses are leaning towards he might end up in the green and gold, and that would be outstanding.
That'd be cool.
And just some Elks news. They have signed long snapper Luke Burton-Cron to a 2-year extension. Of course, they drafted him a few years ago. LBK comes back. He's a great guy, Gager. Absolute beauty. And they've also announced the addition of 3 players: American linebacker Clayton Isbell, American defensive back Harold Nash III, and American defensive back Alfred Stevens. So 3 players coming in probably for rookie camp there, but LBK, Luke Burton-Cron, is back with the green and gold. That's good news, because that long snapper position, it's never talked about, but it's very important, Gage. Very, very important.
You ever try that?
It's hard.
Oh, it's really hard. My God. How they can snap that thing back and just a rocket.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like, Luke's really good at it. And it's because Luke wasn't our first year. No, was it? Yeah, our first year, Luke wasn't our snapper, right? He was just a D lineman. Then he got hurt. But then the Elks traded Peter Agee, and then he became it. It was just such a seamless transition, man.
I remember watching, I think it was Jason Kelce at the Super Bowl last year, and they had targets, right, where he had to hit it. He was like firing it through there still. Like,
buddy, if you're a good long snapper, even here in Canada, you can make a living in the NFL. Seriously, because if you're good at it, like, they'll sign you like that.
Yeah.
And that's all you do is long snap and live a quiet life and make a lot of money. All right, guys, portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Ice House. Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra cool. TrackMan golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit the Canadian Ice House.com. Up next, we'll wrap up the show. We'll get to your texts from the River Cree inbox at 780-218-9999, and we'll get back to the nasty chat as well as superstar versus star. How do we distinguish between what is a star, Gager? Because we all have different takes here, especially with Nuge. Is Nuge a star or just a really, really good player right now in his career? That's all coming up here in the final segment of EST Afternoons. Here's Coob with your sports update.
The NHL sees the Maple Leafs taking on the Wild, the Pens battling the hockey clubs, the Canucks and Predators dropping the puck, while Drew Doughty makes his return for the Kings when they challenge the Panthers. And in Philly, Samuel Ersson of the Flyers has been named to Team Sweden as the Four Nations face-off, with New Jersey's Jacob Markstrom out of the tournament due to injury. And after he lacerated his quad when crashing into the boards in yesterday's game, Caden Gooley has undergone surgery this morning and will be out indefinitely for the Canadiens. Elsewhere, Philip Grubauer of the Kraken waits to pass through the waiver wire to report to the AHL, while Brandon Saad and the Blues have agreed to mutually terminate his contract, with Saad having the remainder of this season as well as next season under contract at $4.5 million. In the CFL, Luke Burton-Cron and the Elks have agreed to a 2-year extension, with Burton-Cron suiting up in all 18 games last year. And 11 games dot the NBA slate, including the Raptors butting heads against the Wizards. EST Afternoons returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
Your home for live music and great performances is
the River Cree Resort and Casino. On the patio, there's whiskey in the jar.
March 14th, don't miss the Kings of Celtic. The legendary Irish Rovers play the venue at the River Cree.
Hey boys, sing us a song. One of the old ones and we sing along.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
2:43. Welcome back to EST Afternoon's final segment here from the William Huff Studios. It's Joaquin Gage, Hernan and Saad, Zach Kubish in the house. 79 thumbs up. Slow day today. We need 21 more. If we can get that here in the next 10 minutes, that would be fine and dandy as we wrap up this final segment here and get you set for Reed and Jay coming from 3 to 6. They'll have a fun show like they always do. I think they have Jay Onright on today. Overall, good guy. Funny guy from TS. And
Sean Bell.
And Sean Bellsy. That's right. Yeah. Oh, the big guy today. He's got a firm handshake.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a man's.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but ended out all right.
It ended all right. Big shout out to Aaron Grymes for joining us from the Edmonton Elks. Always a good conversation with our guy there, and look forward to see what he can do as a DB's coach. And yeah, the whole staff. It's exciting times. I think the tampering window opens here soon. We're gonna get into CFL free agency, which is gonna be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. And of course, Four Nations coming up, Gage, which I think we're all going to dive heavily into. And see how Mr. Connor McDavid looks with all that elite talent around him. And the other boys will head to Mexico for a nice little vacation. Like Mackenzie Weegar says, I have a vacation planned in Mexico, but I'll cancel if needed. Yeah, I'll cancel right away if I get called back to the to good old Team Canada with the omission of Alec Pietrangelo.
Cam Talbot coming back into town tomorrow. He's probably in town now.
Toddy M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old hedgehog.
We will have already confirmed. We'll have Max Bolton from The Athletic. He covers the Red Wings tomorrow at 2:20. Get to know the team and kind of the turnaround with Todd McLellan there.
Yeah, they got the bump, but it's sometimes that fades.
And it seems it's fading right now, just a tad though. I want to look where they are in the standings right now, Gage, because I know they were making a run, but currently they sit 2 points out of the wild card spot, which is not too bad. In their last 10, they're 6-3-1, and they're currently on a 3-game win streak. So no, they're rolling still, man.
Talbot 37, still doing quite well. 2.86, 0.907 goals against in 28 games. Always a good goal. I always like Cam Talbot, man.
Favorite Oiler goalie, and then it's Steve Passmore's 52nd birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I should text him.
You know Pass?
Yeah, old Passy.
He's good. You know what I loved about him when he did play the few games he did play? Every break, he'd always take his mask off.
Oh yeah, he had to let everyone know he was playing. That's for sure. He was one of the biggest personalities you'd ever meet. Like he was huge personality. Great goaltender, man. He was really, really good. Had a good career.
Is he here in Edmonton?
No, he's in Kamloops, back in Kamloops. Yeah, we had some battles back in junior, him and I. A great puck handler. He could fire it the length of the ice all the time. Like on the PK, yeah, he was one of the reasons I actually one summer I really worked on my puck handling skills. I couldn't shoot it like him or whatever, but I just made sure I could handle it a little bit better.
Yeah, he only played 6 games for the Oilers, but like I said, he made it known that he was in the between the pipes.
And once that whistle blew, that helmet was coming right up. He was he had trouble because we were in the minors together the first year. He had trouble with cramping, where he had to go to like the Mayo Clinic, and he couldn't make it through a game. Like he had like imbalances where it would just halfway through the second, he would just fall down and his whole body would cramp up. Happened to me a few times, and it's one of the most painful things ever. But it was funny because our coach at the time, it was Pete Mahovlich, Frank Mahovlich's his brother.
Yeah.
And Pete was a funny man, but he wanted Passy when he played to stay fresh. So he thought it would be a good idea for Passy to go shower in between periods. I was like, what? And so he'd go have a cold shower. So he'd race off the ice, like take all his gear off, and then go jump in a cold shower and then put it all back on. I go, that's more exhausting than the period he just played in. You know? And it still didn't work. And he was eating bananas like he lived at a zoo and trying to get potassium, and he'd take all this stuff and nothing worked. And it was... He didn't play that year and most of the next 2, I don't think. And then he came back and they finally kind of figured out and got his potassium and sodium levels proper where he could play.
92 NHL games. And he, like I said, he only played 6 here, but he was a character. I always remember him.
Oh, we'll get him on one time. Try to keep the F-bombs to a minimum. But he's great, dude. He's awesome.
We'll have Coob ready for the beep.
Oh yeah.
Beep. Let's see. See, it's not working. I don't know why it's not working here. Anyways, also on this day, 26 years ago, the Oilers acquired Alexander Daigle from the Philadelphia Flyers for Andrei Kovalenko. Really? The Oilers then flipped Daigle to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Alexander Selivanov, who scored 29 goals the following year with the Oilers. I had no idea until today that the Oilers at one point acquired Alexander Daigle.
Yeah, I might have forgotten that because he never showed up, did he?
No, I think it's just a transaction, and then boom, they sent him over to Tampa Bay.
Have you watched his documentary?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, it's good. It's on Amazon. It's on Prime. Sorry, And it's just because he was such a highly touted junior player and it never worked out. But it just talks about his life and everything he went through. It's actually pretty entertaining.
A good guy that Passy and I both played with, Martin Light. He was great friends with the Daigle. That's how he was referred to, because Alex was a little bit different. Like in the summertime, he would just rent like a hotel in LA and live there and train there. And my buddy they were good friends, but my buddy was kind of like his valet essentially, and just did everything. And some of the stories, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell these, but do you know the Dig dated Pamela Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
But my buddy tells the story of how he met her. So, how much time we got? It's not that bad. So, I guess, remember Baywatch? The show Baywatch?
Of course.
They were filming in the hotel that the Dig and Marty were staying at. And Marty, I can't tell. I should just get Marty on the show to tell this story because it's just great. Because the Daigle's bouncing off the walls because he needs to meet Pamela. He's got to go on a date with Pamela Anderson. So he's freaking out, and then so he goes down and talks to someone on the film set. And he goes, "Hey, what is she really like? What is she like?" And she likes Starbucks or whatever. So he tells the valet at the hotel okay, I need you to go to a secondhand store.
Yeah.
And go buy like a treasure chest, and then I want you to go to Starbucks and fill it with all Starbucks stuff, like coffee and all this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So the valet goes to this treasure chest probably is like $5,000 or something like that. Then he fills it with
Starbucks,
and then he wrote some note and stuff with it, and he it had it delivered to Pam on the set, and she opened it up and was like, "Oh my gosh, who sent this?" And then it was
love.
It was the Daigle, and then they and then my buddy actually he was I won't say what he did, but I don't know. That's how that summer romance. Because I remember when she was on Leno, and I knew, and Leno said, "I hear you're dating a hockey player." She never said who it was, but it was the Daigle.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
a pretty sweet move though. Like he found out what she liked and made or what did he say? The note. In the note he said something like, "I know it's not gold, but it's something that you really like."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was smooth, man.
Because he had a really good rookie year, and then I think he had a falling out with the coach in the documentary. The documentary is good.
When the documentary talks about, he asked Muckler's going around the room, "What do you or something or other? What do you need to win?" And he goes, "What do you play for?"
Yeah,
the front of the bag. He goes, "I'm playing for another contract." and he went through the explanation of why, and it made sense, but it's not what you want to tell the coach.
No, and then he kind of revived his career in Minnesota. He was like a role player, and but he never lived up to the expectations, of course, of being the.
He was supposed to be like Lindros,
Yeah,
right?
he was supposed to be top notch. It's a fun one though, for sure. And then 1985 on this day, Yari Curry set an NHL record when he scored his 100th point in the 39th game of the season. It's just a different time.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even see that. If you missed it, Kraken have placed goaltender Philip Grubauer on waivers. Drew Doughty makes his return since last year when he played the Oilers, because he was out for the entirety of this year so far. He is back in. And your Oiler lines from practice today: RNH with McDavid and Brown, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner with Enrique and Hyman, and Janmark Vilperi. Ekholm and Kapanen were not on the ice. Sounds like they were under the weather. And Chris Knobloch pretty much said no update on Klingberg's debut. He said it could be this week. If not, it will be next week. So really not giving us anything, Gager. We're 9 away from 100. We got about a minute or two left here. Let's get to 100. Let's push for it. We got 156 watching. So if you haven't slammed that. And like Gager said in the opening, if you get your podcasts later, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or Google Play, make sure you follow or subscribe EST Afternoons and all the other shows here on Edmonton Sports Talk. All it does, it will push our content to the top of your feed, and that way you can consume it a lot easier. And share with your friends. Let them know about EST. 66 Monday to Friday. And, of course, we have pre- and post-game shows for the Oilers and the Elks. Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne will kick off once the season rolls around in June. Finally, game day tomorrow, Gager. Finally, Detroit Red Wings. Should be a good one. We're going to have a lot of fun teeing it up for you. And, of course, the Oil Stream pregame show tomorrow at 6 with Tom Zola will get you set for all the action. We got to get out as Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne are coming up. Sean Bell, Jay Onright will be joining them. They'll have another fun show as they'll take you right up until 6. Big shout out to all of you for listening and watching us and for all your messages. Once again, the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. Big shout out to Aaron Grymes from the Edmonton Elks, Michael Curry for setting that up. For Zach Kubish, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll chat tomorrow. Chowders.